guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Diana with Creativity Inc. And today in my cave, I wanted to start, like always, to show you guys something I got. But this time I think this, you're gonna see me using it on my videos. I do need to rewire it because that looks a little weird, but it does turn on. I was able to turn it on. It works really well. For today's video, we're gonna start with, I want to make as you guys see the title, I want to make a book that carries all these items that I need to do to journal on when I travel. When we like to take the kids out, and so I want to start traveling and journaling at the same time. So these are the things that I mostly use. I'm not too sure how I'm gonna go about it, but if I lay down what I want and what I need to do on my journal, then it helps me determine maybe the size and what the dimensions of what I need for them to do that. Once I decided I can use these boards, I double wrapped it or double covered it, I don't know what you would call it, with craft paper. I like the look of that. I may change my mind later and I may repaint it or recolor it, but I wanted to do the traveler's notebook. From what I've seen, sometimes I've seen them be like paperback and be so like ruggedy, and I kind of wanted that look, and I feel like if I use it often enough, it's gonna have that ruggedy look, and that's kind of what I'm going for. I want it to be worn out and distressed, and I like that craft paper look, so I'm going to just double wrap it with this craft paper. I'm glad I noticed that I had not cut out the spots where I wanted to put my water paint. I feel like I wanted to cut them out all the way through, because the profile of them is too big. So I feel like if I cut into this chipboard cover, that it would allow me to save some of that space, or not space, but like that thick profile, and so it would make the thing better. Plus it helps me hold on to the little box that I have there. So with my little knife, I just cut. This thing was super strong. It's an old cover from an old book, so man, it was so hard. I struggled so much. So anyways, skipping forward, so once I'm done cutting them, I finish covering my both covers with craft paper, and this is how it looks. On the inside, I grabbed a craft folder. I don't know if you guys can see the shape of it, and then I just put it in the inside and cut the holes out so that I still have that profile. It's kind of easy to do the cutout, because to transfer the cutout to the folder, because with my finger I just went around the edge and it marks the edge of the square, and that allows me to cut it exactly. So I was able to use the little square that came out from the folder, kind of just glued it onto the base of the square, so it looks like the same fabric, the same image. So it's it works both ways. So what I'm doing here, I'm doing the same thing. I'm going over my finger and tracing the cover of my paper, but I'm noticing it's such a thick, like craft paper kind of folder. I got it from the flea market, but it's like a vintage craft paper file, and I haven't seen them in stores this thick, so I was glad I got it, and I wanted to use it, but man, it's super thick. Anyway, so for the spine, I wanted to do a leather spine cover. Notice that in the back I only glued the top and the bottom, because I wanted to see if maybe later on I want to put a pocket. I am planning on, kind of, this is my beginning stage of my journal, and I feel that after I use it for the first time, or maybe even a couple of times, then I'm gonna know, if it works out for me, if I can modify it, add to it, or take away from there. And then I feel like it's gonna teach me if I'm gonna do another one, because I, I mean, for me, I would like to stick to the same one and kind of like see it, change with my thoughts and with my feelings on and or my needs. And I would like to modify this one as I go. But if I have to change it, then I know what to change it into. But anyways, having said, I have this jacket, piece of leather from the jacket that I got. It's a black leather jacket. I have a couple of leather jackets. Um, I honestly don't buy the leather jacket if it's not like $1 or $5, because then I can use it as scraps and it doesn't hurt me. Like when you buy like an expensive jacket and you want to like recycle it, it doesn't work for me. It has to be for me $1 or $5. Otherwise, I won't get it. So then I use it very everywhere, and very generously, so it doesn't hurt my pocket. And in this case, I think this is a piece of the, I want to say sleeve, but I'm not 100% sure. It might be collar piece from the black jacket, and I was blessed to have it a double X, and so it's pretty big, so it gives me larger pieces to work with, and it gives me a bigger jacket, of course. But um, anyways, once I did that, I have this glue. The glue that I use takes practically no time to dry. So I grab another piece of the black jacket, and I'm using it for the corners. I want it to be somewhat traditional looking, the corners, the spine, and blah blah blah. But at the same time, I want it to be fun in the inside, but serious. So this is an attempt of me trying to marry that concept, because I like old stuff. I like vintage stuff, as you guys can seen before. So I do like that, but I also like the fun and creative aspect of this concept of the notebook. So once I cut out the thing, I do know, I don't know if you noticed, but you see the stitch lines, the sewing folds and stitches. I use that as much as I can as references to fold into my books, so that it looks, it plays with your mind as if it was stitched on my book. I don't know, just, I think it's just me, but I like doing that. And then I like to use the stitching sometimes as piece of the art, the so that it, like if the stitch is going one way, I accent it and I make the piece of leather go that way, so that it looks like it was planned, that stitch there all along, when in reality I was just working with what I had. But so I'm using these leather corners, and I think it also will protect my craft book not to be banged up so much. Just as I was done with my corners, my husband brought me food. Anyways, I thought I showed you guys. This is, for some reason, it didn't record what I was what I was when I was putting these things together. I think my phone was like got a text or something, and it was because I recorded my phone, and it stopped recording, and I'm so sorry about that. But you guys can see how I just used little pieces of the other jacket that I have, and I use that as leftovers. I use this strap to hold the inks or the paints back in the little hole. And I use a little magnet. You see that black part where the strap goes into? It has a magnet on the strap and on that, under that thing. I used the drill and I inserted a little circular magnet. And everything else is just a green file folder. No, it's not a file folder. It's one of those I think it's a carrier folder. I don't know if they're called carrier, but it's a thing that carries the folders onto the, like a little file folder carrier. I don't know. I think it's a carrier thing. I wouldn't call them carrier, but you guys know what I mean. I put some of these little tabs. I have this bookmark I can use it as like a little ruler or a spatula. I'm trying to put everything as a double, so the knife would also work as a pencil sharpener. That's why you guys don't see pencil sharpeners. It also works as a knife. And if you guys think about it, you know, if I ever get stranded or something, I could use my scrap stuff to get me out of trouble, you know? I could use my sewing kit to sew something I need, or a knife in case I need to do something, you know, some rescuing or something. Just kidding. Um, this is a I don't know what these are called. I mentioned before in another video. I think these are what you use in the courthouse. Well, that's what I've seen them because I used to work at the courthouse. But um, they they hold like your files and stuff like that, and evidence your files, and so I feel like they might be for that, like legal folders or something. But I may also see them, or I can also imagine them being used at like medical stuff. I'm not quite sure, but what I'm doing is this binding the thing that that's holding them. I really like it, so I don't. I typically try to save it. I like it's a like a very hard cloth, so I take it apart rather than cutting them off because I'll use them in something else. Anyways, I have these two, and I like that it's double sided on the fasteners. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make like a little insert with these folders so that I can hold my ephemera. Because I do want to take some ephemera, but mostly like paper or like something I could see me using like a little notebook or I don't know, something. Whereas if I don't have nothing, like, 'cause I want a junk journal, I also want to draw, I also want to paint, I also want to write on my journals. So and it is going to be a little difficult for me because I scrapbook as well. So I know you guys haven't seen me scrapbook, but I scrapbook. I've been an avid scrapbooker since I first became a mom. So that was like 20 years ago. And so, you know, I transfer that love into journaling. But, you know, it's going to be hard for me to be like, okay, where do I put my scrapbook and what do I put in my journal? And it's going to have to be a decision as I take things because I like if I collect like for example a napkin or you know some kind of map, I also like to put it in the scrapbook. I don't like to just put it on on the junk journal. You know, I like to put map. I like as I work my journal. I also like to do on my scrapbook because the scrapbook is mostly for my kids to remember their childhood, but the scrapbook is just for me to express my journey. And so for me to to kind of learn to separate it or maybe even do doubles, but I have the thought of doing Polaroids. What kind of Polaroids do I use on my journaling and what kind of Polaroids do I use on my scrapbook? So that's kind of like my gonna be my tough decisions and you know but having that in mind when you travel you can either take doubles or take specific pictures for each of those things like for example in the journaling I see myself taking pictures of like trees and shoes or you know landmarks whereas in my scrapbook I'll take mostly pictures of the kids you know, family pictures or activity pictures. Whereas, you know, in the scrapbook, you do more like maybe the animals you saw and things like that. So I feel like that's going to help me determine what kind of pictures to take and what kind of ephemera to take or things like, you know, if I have to do double napkins when I go to a restaurant, can I get an extra napkin or get an extra sticker or buy an extra something because I do like to scrapbook and I do like to put those kind of things in my scrapbook as well. Okay, this is what happened. I glued both of the tabs together, the little flaps that I did. I grabbed pieces of that green folder and I it's kind of like to strengthen the bond between them. But it all started because the leather raised a little what is it called? what it would be called. The little folder that I'm doing here for the middle, it raised it up. So I wanted something that I could glue onto the folder, so kind of make it a even playing field right there with the leather. Um, and it serves as reinforcement, and I think it looks cool. It's that green folder, and on the inside I followed the same theme, and I did it, but I did it with leather, the brown leather inside. So it's just for place. And also what I did is I punched the holes and I put eyelids so I can put a string through, so I can hold whatever like signature that I'm going to be using on there. I like this little branch for my thread, but I didn't. I like this little threads, and it went from a tube to like a little thing that holds it. But they were too thick. The profile of them was bigger than what I wanted, and so what I did is I just rolled it onto the stick. To hold the ephemera on in my folder, in my like little ephemera folder, I'm going to use different techniques or different things. One of the things that I'm using is the baseball cards, like acetate pockets. I don't know if they're called acetate, but they look like acetate pockets to me. So I'm going to cut them out to the shape and size of my sheet. Keep in mind that if your ephemera or your art, what is this, art folder, or I don't know, what, yeah, art folder, I guess. I don't know, art book or traveler's, I don't know, book. I don't know what it would be called, but for this, I'm going to need a lot of ephemera. Well, not a lot, but I feel like some may be needed, and I don't want to be like out in the middle of nowhere without like nothing. You know, I may not use it, but I want to have like certain things, you know, to play with or to that inspire me to like make my layout nicer. So once I mark my holes and I put my holes in there, I wanted to kind of straighten the plastic because it's plastic after all. And with the little metal thing, I feel like it was going to cut. So what I'm doing is I'm grabbing a little leftover pieces of the file folder that it's on, and I'm just going to reinforce the thing. And it also is going to keep with that effect of looking like a folder, like maybe it was meant to be there all along, you know. I like feeling that it looks like the feeling that it gives it when it looks like it was there or it belonged there the whole time. So I'm going to use that there. You know, that I'm looking at it on the screen, it looks like it disappears, and maybe I should have used the green folder so that it stands out and it kind of gives it a different thing. But I didn't do it. But it doesn't look that blended in when you're in like in front of it, you know. But anyway, so I decided to do little hole enforcers or reinforcers, and to do that, I have a stash of I think they're 1 inch holes or punches, and I just punch in the middle hole with it to make it hole reinforcers. And I use this. I have this little thing from scraps, and it helps me so much because it always allows me to do that accent little thing of little, what are they called, hole reinforcers, and I think it looks cute. Anywho, I may change it later because I don't like how it looks. I round out the corners so that it looks more, I don't know, legal. You know what I mean? I think that's what I was going for, like, so that it reminded me from where I used to be in court. And so, I don't know, it does. This kind of does. Something else that I'm going to be using is this sheet that it came in a notebook. Like, I think it was like a notebook that one of my kids used for school, and it came with like some little like pockets, I guess they could put like homework or something related. And so I literally picked it up from my daughter's trash, and I just cut it in half, and I used the holes that it came with. It was a spiral notebook, and so I used those same holes. I didn't have to punch out holes. And I like the pockets. They're very thick, and that's what I like. It's very durable, and I feel like these pockets are going to last me for a long, 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 long time. So I had put in there some ferns, like I have a large collection, not a large, don't get me wrong. Look at me showing off. I have like, I don't know, 13, 14 different kinds of ferns. And so, when you consider there's hundreds of kind of ferns, like 13 is not a lot. Anyways, so I like to dry them and use them as specimens, like real life specimens when I'm like doing journaling. I did a notebook, botanical journal, a few videos ago about, and I used I made like a spine art out of them as well. So if out of that video, the video was to show that spine art. I like the spine. I like to decorate the spine a lot because at the end of the day, that's what you see. I have a lot of journals that I've done and books and stuff, and you put all this effort in the front cover, and you really don't get to see that as much as you do the spine. So I want to be more focused on the spine because that's what I see the most when I have my books on the shelf. Anyways, so these are some of the pieces of leftovers that I use. I have these stickers in case I want to use some campy stickers. I have a lot, but the reason why I chose this is because I like these stickers and I like the colors. So if I wanted to stick with a theme or color, I don't know, scheme or whatever, I picked this because not only did I like the stickers, I like the color scheme. So if I'm doing a layout and if I wanted to stick with a theme or a color scheme, I would refer that to. I would refer to the stickers for that. And I'm gonna take some paper, a dictionary. I have a very old dictionary, and I'm gonna take some of those pages. I also use a paper clip to clip under those sheets. I have these little pieces of craft paper that I'm gonna take. I may not use these, like I said, but they're little, things like you could put like an accent or something. I don't know. And I may end up just using like I said, all the napkins and stuff that I get on the traveling. But at the end of the day, you go to places that you really don't know and you don't know how much ephemera you're gonna really collect. Some little notebooks, like supposedly self-adhesive, but it wasn't sticking. And I just try to pack it up as much as I can. These things I had. So I had this little thing. This is a lid. The little plastic thing is a lid from a specimen jars, spices jar that I had, and it was over, but I used a little lid. I made that little folder so I can just stick ephemera on there, like maps and napkins that I collect during the travel. And also what I did is I typed up some quotes from the place where I'm going to go. In addition to the ephemera I'm going to take some of these little labels, little envelope, and these papers. These are mixed media papers, regular paper, water paper color, acrylic colors. They're just different, and I'm going to take a bunch of them, and whatever moves my groove, that's what I'm going to use. I don't think I'm going to use all of them, but I am going to take them just so that I can do that practice, so that I can have that flexibility of grabbing what I want. Anyways, these are my quotes. I printed them in 2 different styles. I printed them like line across my sheet, and I also printed them in like little square, like a little index card or credit card size. So I have different options of what I'm going to use. I also printed up some scriptures that I like with the theme of where I'm going, and so I just wanted to have those available to me since I'm going to be away from my printer. And sometimes quotes are good. You can take quotes that somebody else already made for you, or you can make them yourselves. To close this up, I'm gonna use a belt. I have this very old. It wasn't my belt. I bought it for $1, but it's very thick and it's leather, and it's like, I don't know, I liked it. So I like the flexibility of being, like jamming in there all kinds of stuff and securing it with the belt. I think was a great idea. So I'm not gonna cut the belt down because I like it. I like how it goes all the way around my journal. It's a nuisance, but I like it. I like the feeling of okay, you're unwrapping, you know, your journal. You're like a gift, like when you unwrap a gift. So I liked it. It's kind of, you know, time consuming, but look how it goes around the journal really nice, and it's kind of cool. Well, thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked today's video. I hope it helped you get inspired. I hope it gave you some ideas. And I'll be letting you guys stay tuned for next week. I'll let you guys know where I went and how it turned out, what I would change, and what I liked about the book. Thank you guys for watching again. I really appreciate you guys continuing to support my channel with your views, with your comments, with all your thumbs up, and I'm really encouraged by you guys. Thank you guys again. Till next time, have a good day. Bye.